Lisa Morgan sat in her chair at the communication center on Luna Base. The room was quiet, except for the soft hum of machines. She had been working the night shift for 3 years now. Most nights were boring. She listened to regular messages. Between Earth and the colonies, supply orders, family calls. Nothing exciting ever happened, but tonight was different. The first sign of trouble came at 2:47 a.m. Lisa heard static crackling through her headset. Then a voice broke through the noise. It was weak and full of fear. "This is Captain Jake Sullivan from Europa 7 mining station. Can anyone hear me? Please respond. We need help." Lisa sat up straight. She knew Jake's voice. He had sent routine reports every week for 2 years. But this time he sounded scared, very scared. "Europa 7, this is Luna Base. I hear you, Captain Sullivan. What is your emergency?" The line crackled with more static. When Jake spoke again, his voice was shaking. "They came 3 days ago. We thought they were just animals at first. Big shapes moving in the ice caves. But they're not animals. There's something else. Something wrong." Lisa felt cold fear run down her back. "Captain, please explain what you mean by they. I don't know what they are. They look like shadows sometimes. Other times they look almost human. But they move wrong. They watch us. They learn from us. And Lisa, they're taking people." The static got worse. Lisa could barely hear Jake's words. "Captain Sullivan, you're breaking up. Say again about people being taken. They don't just kill them. They study them first. We found Miller's body yesterday, but Miller was still walking around the base. Same face, same voice, but his eyes were different. Empty. And when we tested his blood, it wasn't human anymore." Lisa's hands started shaking. This couldn't be real. But Jake's fear sounded very real. "Captain, I'm sending your location to rescue teams. Help is coming." Jake's laugh was bitter and scared. "No, Lisa. Don't send anyone. That's what they want. More humans to study. More faces to steal. They're getting better at copying us. The fake Miller almost fooled everyone." The static cleared for a moment. Jake's voice came through crystal clear. "Lisa, listen to me carefully. This isn't just about Europa 7. We intercepted messages before they got us. Other colonies have gone silent. Titan Base stopped answering calls last month. The Mars mining station went dark 2 weeks ago. Someone is covering it up, but they're moving toward Earth." Lisa felt sick. "Captain, that's impossible. Command would have told us about missing colonies. Command doesn't know. Or maybe they do know, and they're not telling anyone. Check the files, Lisa. Look for yourself. But be careful who you trust." The static got worse again. Lisa could hear other sounds in the background. Screaming. Strange noises that didn't sound. "Human. They're in the base now," Jake whispered. "I can hear them in the halls. They sound like my crew, but I know they're not. Oh God, they're at my door now. Captain Sullivan, get out of there." Too late. They're coming in. "Lisa, you have to warn people. Tell them not to trust anyone who acts strange. Tell them to check for the signs. The eyes are always wrong, and the way they move. They never blink enough." Lisa heard the door to Jake's room open. Footsteps. Then a voice that sounded exactly like Jake. "Hey, Jake, what are you doing in here? Come join us for dinner." But the real Jake was still talking into his radio. "That's not me, Lisa. That thing sounds like me, but it's not me. They got me while I was sleeping 2 days ago. They kept me alive to study me, to learn how to be me." Lisa couldn't breathe. 2 Jakes were talking. One on the radio, one in the room. "Jake, we're worried about you. You haven't eaten in days," said the voice in the room. "Don't listen to it, Lisa. I'm the real Jake. I escaped and I've been hiding, but they found me now." Lisa heard a struggle. The real Jake screamed. Then silence. After a long moment, Jake's voice came back on the radio. But now it sounded calm and normal. "Sorry about that, Luna Base. We had some equipment problems. Everything is fine now. Just a false alarm." But Lisa knew this wasn't the real Jake. This was the thing that had taken him. "Understood, Europa 7. Glad everything is okay." Lisa turned off her radio with shaking hands. She sat in the dark for a long time, thinking about what she had heard. 2 Jakes, one real, one fake. And the fake one was so perfect that anyone else would have believed it. She pulled up the colony communication files on her computer. Jake was right. 3 colonies had stopped sending reports in the past month. But the official records said they were just having communication problems. Lisa looked around the communication center. Her co-worker Danny was asleep at his desk. Her supervisor, Colonel Pete Davis, was in his office. Everything looked normal, but Jake's words kept repeating. In her head, "Check for the signs. The eyes are always wrong." Lisa stared at Danny. His chest was moving up and down like he was breathing. But when she looked closer, she realized something was wrong. Danny's eyes were open. He was staring at the ceiling, but he wasn't blinking. She had worked with Danny for 2 years. He always snored when he slept. Tonight, he was completely silent. Lisa picked up her personal recording device. Her hands were still shaking, but she knew what she had to do. Someone had to make a record of what was happening. Someone had to warn other people. She pressed record and began to speak quietly. "This is Lisa Morgan, communications specialist at Luna Base. The date is March 15th, 2387. I have just intercepted a transmission from Europa 7 that I believe shows evidence of hostile alien contact. But more than that, I believe these aliens can perfectly copy human beings." She looked at Danny again. He still wasn't blinking. "I don't know who I can trust anymore, but I'm going to find out what's really happening to our colonies. And if I'm right about this threat, I'm going to make sure people know the truth before it's too late." Lisa saved the recording and hid the device in her pocket. Then she started copying all the colony communication files to a secure drive. If aliens were really taking over human colonies, someone needed proof. Outside the communication center windows, Earth hung in space like a blue marble. It looked peaceful and safe. But Lisa knew that something was coming for it. Something that could wear human faces and copy human voices. Something that was learning how to be human so it could replace them all. Lisa spent the next 3 days digging through files. She barely slept. Every time someone walked into the communication center, she watched their eyes. She counted how often they blinked. She listened to how they talked. Danny hadn't come back to work since that night. The official report said he was sick, but Lisa had checked the medical records. No one had seen Danny in the medical bay. On her personal time, Lisa visited Dr. Alex Carter in the science section of Luna Base. Alex studied alien artifacts that came from the outer colonies. If anyone would believe her story, it would be him. "You look terrible," Alex said when she walked into his lab. "When did you last sleep?" "Alex, I need to show you something. But first, I need to ask you some questions." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Okay, shoot." Lisa pulled out a list she had written. "What did you call your pet dog when you were 7 years old?" "That's a weird question. Why do you want to know?" "Just answer me, please." Alex looked confused, but answered. "Rocket. His name was Rocket because he was fast." Lisa checked her list. She had looked up Alex's personal files. His childhood pet was listed in his psychological profile. "What happened to your sister when you were 12? Now Alex looked worried. "Lisa, what's going on?" Why are you asking about my family? Please, Alex, I'll explain everything. She broke her arm falling off her bike. Had to wear a cast for 2 months. Lisa, you're scaring me. Lisa felt relief. The real Alex would remember these details. A fake might know the basic facts, but not the small details like calling the dog rocket. I think aliens are replacing people on Luna Base. I need your help to figure out how. Alex stared at her for a long moment. Then he sat down. Tell me everything. Lisa played the recording from Jake Sullivan. She showed Alex the files about the missing colonies. She explained about Danny's strange behavior. When she finished, Alex was quiet for a long time. If this is true, he said slowly, then we're in serious trouble. I've been studying some strange biological samples from the Outer Rim colonies. Things that looked almost human, but weren't quite right. Alex pulled up files on his computer. Look at this tissue sample from Titan Base. It has human DNA, but there are extra sequences I've never seen before. And this blood sample from the Mars station. It has human blood cells, but they're too perfect. Like someone built them instead of growing them. Lisa felt sick looking at the images. You think these are from the fake people? Maybe. The timing matches with when those colonies stopped communicating. And there's something else. Alex showed her another file. 3 days ago, I got a request to examine some biological material. It was supposedly from a worker who got sick on level 7. But when I tested it, I found the same strange DNA sequences. Someone on Luna Base? Yes, and Lisa, the request came from Colonel Davis. He said the worker was named Danny Morris. Lisa's blood went cold. Danny's last name was Morris. Alex, I don't think Danny is sick. I think he's been replaced. And I think Colonel Davis might be one of them too. They spent the next hour going through more files. Alex had tissue samples from 4 different people on Luna Base. All of them showed the same strange DNA patterns. How long has this been going on? Lisa asked. Based on when I received the samples, I'd say at least 2 weeks, maybe longer. Lisa realized the truth was worse than she had thought. The aliens weren't just attacking colonies far from Earth. They were already here, on Luna Base. They had been studying humans up close. We need to figure out who else has been replaced, Lisa said. Alex nodded. But how? They look exactly like the real people. Lisa remembered Jake's words. He said the eyes are always wrong. And they don't blink enough. We need to watch people carefully. They made a list of everyone on Luna Base, 43 people total. Then they started watching. The first sign came during lunch in the cafeteria. Lisa and Alex sat together and observed the other workers. Most people acted normal. They talked and laughed. They spilled food and made jokes. But 3 people were different. Security Chief Tony Williams sat alone. He ate his food in perfect bites. He never looked around the room. He stared straight ahead the whole time. Dr. Mary Johnson talked to other people, but her smile was wrong. It was too wide and lasted too long. Real smiles change and fade. Hers stayed exactly the same. And engineer Bob Taylor answered questions too quickly. When someone asked him about his weekend plans, he responded instantly. Real people usually think for a second before answering personal questions. 3 more, Alex whispered to Lisa. That night, Lisa intercepted another transmission. This one was from the Mars Central Command. General Karen Brooks was trying to contact the outer colonies. But every response she got sounded wrong to Lisa now. The voices were too calm, too perfect. They gave detailed reports about mining operations and supply needs. But no one mentioned the strange things that should have been happening. No one asked about the missing colonies. Lisa realized that the aliens had taken over the communication networks. They were sending fake messages to make everything seem normal. She tried calling her brother Ryan on Earth. Ryan was a transport pilot who flew between the planets. But when he answered, something was wrong with his voice. "Hey, Lisa, good to hear from you. Everything is normal here. How are things on Luna Base?" Lisa almost answered normally. Then she remembered that Ryan never said, "Everything is normal." He usually complained about his job or made jokes. "Ryan, do you remember what you gave me for my birthday last year?" There was a pause. A real person would remember giving their sister a birthday gift, or they would admit they forgot. "Of course I remember. I gave you something nice." That wasn't an answer. Lisa felt fear growing in her stomach. What color was it? Another pause. It was a good color. Your favorite color. Lisa hung up. Her brother had been replaced to Dot. She ran to find Alex. He was in his lab, looking at more tissue samples. "They got my brother," she said. "The aliens are on Earth already." Alex looked up from his microscope. "Lisa, I've been studying these samples more carefully. I think I know how they do it." He showed her images on his computer screen. The alien DNA doesn't just copy human DNA. It improves it, makes it more efficient. The fake people are actually better than real people in some ways. Stronger, faster, smarter. But they can't copy everything, Lisa said. They don't understand emotions. They don't know about personal memories and habits. Exactly. They can copy the body and the basic personality, but they can't copy the soul. Lisa and Alex spent the rest of the night developing tests. Simple. Questions that only the real person would know. Personal habits that couldn't be faked. Emotional responses that aliens wouldn't understand. By morning, they had a plan. They would test everyone on Luna Base, find out who was human and who was fake. But when Lisa arrived at the communications center for her shift, she found Colonel Davis waiting for her. "Lisa, I need to talk to you about your recent communication activities. There have been some irregularities." Lisa's heart started beating fast. "What kind of irregularities, sir?" "You've been accessing files above your clearance level, and you've been asking unusual questions about colony communications." Lisa tried to stay calm. "I was just being thorough, sir. Making sure all communications are properly logged." Colonel Davis smiled, but like Dr. Johnson's smile, it was too perfect. Too wide, and it didn't reach his eyes. "I'm sure you were. But from now on, I'll be monitoring all your activities personally." For security reasons, Lisa knew she was in trouble. The aliens knew she was investigating them. They were watching her now. "Of course, sir. Whatever you think is best." As Colonel Davis left, Lisa realized the terrible truth. The aliens weren't just copying individual people. They were taking over the whole command structure. If they controlled the officers, they controlled Luna Base. And if they controlled Luna Base, they could control all communications between Earth and the colonies. Lisa looked out the window at Earth. Her home planet looked beautiful and peaceful. But she knew the aliens were already there, wearing human faces, learning human ways. Time was running out. Soon, there might be no real humans left to warn. Lisa activated her secret recording device again. "This is Lisa Morgan. Day 4 of the investigation. The situation is worse than I thought. The aliens have infiltrated Luna Base command structure. They're monitoring my activities. I estimate at least 6 people on this base have been replaced, possibly more." She paused, watching the Earth turn slowly in space. "I don't know how much time I have before they replace me too, but I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to find a way to warn people, even if it costs me everything." Lisa knew she was running out of time. For 3 days, Colonel Davis had watched her every move. Every file she accessed was monitored. Every conversation was recorded. She felt like a mouse being watched by cats, but Lisa was clever. She and Alex developed a secret way to communicate. They used the base's maintenance system to send coded messages. When Alex needed to talk, he would report a broken air filter in Section C. When Lisa had information, she would request extra power for the communication arrays. The system worked for 2 days. Then engineer Bob Taylor started showing up wherever Lisa went. "Just checking the power systems," he would say with his too-perfect smile, "making sure everything runs smoothly." But Lisa noticed that Bob always appeared right after she sent a coded message to Alex. The aliens had figured out their communication system. That night, Lisa lay in her bed and stared at the ceiling. She counted 17 people on Luna Base who acted wrong now. More than a third of the crew had been replaced. Soon, the real humans would be outnumbered. She needed a new plan. Lisa remembered something her father had taught her when she was young. If you're being hunted, don't run in a straight line. Be unpredictable. Do things that don't make sense. The next morning, Lisa did something strange. She walked into the cafeteria and started singing. Not loud, but loud enough for people to hear. "Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me, ... Everyone stared at her. It wasn't her birthday. Lisa never sang in public. She was normally quiet and serious. Dr. Mary Johnson walked over with her fake smile. "Lisa, are you feeling all right? It's not your birthday." "I know," Lisa said cheerfully. "I just felt like celebrating." "Don't you ever feel like celebrating for no reason?" Mary's smile flickered. Just for a second, her face showed confusion. Real. Humans understood feeling happy for no reason. The aliens didn't. "Of course," Mary said. But her answer came too fast. Lisa kept acting strange all day. She hummed while she worked. She complimented people on things that didn't matter. She asked random questions about favorite colors and childhood pets. The fake people got confused. They tried to copy her behavior, but they didn't understand why she was acting this way. Real humans like Alex and Tony Williams just thought Lisa was having a weird day. But they played along because they knew her well enough to trust her. By the end of the day, Lisa had identified 21 faked people. Half the base. That night, she snuck to Alex's lab using maintenance tunnels. Tony Williams was already there, looking worried. "Lisa, what's happening on this base?" Tony asked. "Half the crew is acting like robots, and they keep asking me strange questions about my past." Lisa felt relief. Tony was still human. She had tested him carefully, asking about his high school girlfriend and his mother's cooking. Only the real Tony would remember that his girlfriend's name was Susan, and his mother always burned the toast. "Tony, you're not going to believe this, but aliens are replacing people on Luna Base." Tony stared at her. Then he laughed. "That's the craziest thing I've ever heard." Lisa and Alex spent an hour explaining everything. They showed Tony the tissue samples, the communication records, and the list of people who had been replaced. When they finished, Tony wasn't laughing anymore. "My God," he said, "half my security team. That's why the night patrols have been so quiet. That's why no one reports any problems anymore." Alex nodded. "They're taking over the base piece by piece. Soon, there won't be any real humans left." "We have to get to Earth," Lisa said. "Warn people before the aliens spread there too." Tony shook his head. "Too late. I've been monitoring communications from Earth. Half the messages sound wrong already. I think they're already down there." Lisa felt sick. Her brother Ryan had been replaced weeks ago. How many other people on Earth were fake now? "Then we have to stop them here," she said. "Find a way to fight back." Alex pulled up more data on his computer. "I've been studying the alien tissue samples. They have one weakness. They don't handle extreme stress well. Their fake human bodies break down when they're pushed too hard." "What kind of stress?" Tony asked. "Emotional stress?" "Physical pain." situations that require real human instincts. Lisa remembered Jake Sullivan's final transmission. The real Jake had been terrified. The fake Jake had sounded calm and normal. The aliens couldn't copy human fear responses properly. "We need to create chaos," Lisa said. "Do things the aliens won't expect. Force them to react like humans when they can't." They spent the rest of the night planning. Tony would use his security access to lock down certain sections of the base. Alex would release a fake biological contamination alert. Lisa would send false emergency signals to create confusion. The plan wasn't perfect, but it might force the aliens to reveal themselves. The next morning, everything went wrong at 1:08:00 hours. Tony triggered emergency lockdown procedures. Blast doors sealed off entire sections. Lights flashed red. Alarms blared at 08:15. Alex's contamination alert activated. Automated systems began pumping clean air through the base. Everyone was ordered to report to designated safe areas at 0830. Lisa sent a priority distress signal, claiming that Luna Base was under attack by unknown forces. The real humans reacted exactly as expected. They were confused and scared. They asked questions. They tried to help each other. The fake humans reacted. Wrong. Colonel Davis walked calmly through the flashing lights and alarms. He wasn't running or shouting like everyone else. He was moving toward the communications center with purpose. Dr. Mary Johnson didn't look scared during the contamination alert. She stood perfectly still while other people panicked and ran. Engineer Bob Taylor tried to override Tony's security. Lockdown, but he was working too fast, like he knew exactly which systems to target. Within an hour, the fake people had revealed themselves. They weren't good at pretending to be scared or confused. They kept trying to regain control of the base. Systems. But Lisa, Alex, and Tony had one more surprise. While the aliens were distracted, Lisa had been recording everything. Every fake person who acted wrong during the emergency. Every alien who revealed their true nature. She uploaded all the evidence to a secured server that only she knew about. Then she prepared to send the data to Earth. But Colonel Davis found her first. "Lisa Morgan, you are under arrest for sabotage and causing false alarms." Lisa looked at him calmly. "I'm not going anywhere with you." "You're not human." Davis smiled his too perfect smile. "Of course I'm human. Why would you think otherwise?" "Because a real human would be angry right now. A real Colonel Davis would be shouting at me for causing this mess. But you're just standing there like nothing happened." For a moment, Davis's face showed something strange. Not human emotion, but confusion. Like he was trying to remember how anger was supposed to work. I'm angry," he said finally. But his voice didn't sound angry at all. Lisa pressed the final button on her computer. A transmission began broadcasting to Earth on every frequency she could access. "This is Luna Base Communications Officer Lisa Morgan. I am transmitting evidence of hostile alien infiltration. The entities can perfectly copy human appearance, but cannot replicate human emotional responses to stress." Davis lunged forward to stop her, but Tony appeared in the doorway. "Stop right there, whoever you are." Davis turned to face Tony. When he did, his movement was too fast and too smooth. No human could turn that quickly. "Security Chief Williams, arrest this woman for treason." Tony raised his weapon. The real Colonel Davis would never call me by my full title. He always just called me Tony. Davis's face went blank. The alien inside didn't know these personal details. Lisa kept broadcasting, while Tony held the fake colonel at gunpoint. "The aliens study humans, but cannot understand our bonds and relationships. They know facts, but not feelings. They can copy our bodies, but not our souls." More fake people appeared in the corridor. They moved together like a pack, all turning their heads at the same angle, all walking with the same stride. Real humans. Didn't move like that. Alex ran into the room, carrying a bag of equipment. Lisa, we have to go. I counted at least 30 of them moving through the base. They're not hiding anymore. Lisa grabbed her personal recording device and the backup data files. Did the transmission reach Earth? Some of it? But they cut the main communication array. We need to find another way to send the rest. Tony backed toward the door, keeping his weapon pointed at the fake humans. There's an emergency shuttle in Bay 7. We can use its communication system. They ran through the corridors of Luna Base. Behind them, the fake people followed. But they didn't run like humans. They moved too smoothly, like machines trying to imitate life. Lisa realized the aliens had given up pretending. They knew their disguises were blown. Now they just wanted to stop the real humans from escaping. The emergency shuttle was their only hope. If they could reach Earth, maybe they could warn people before the invasion spread further. But as they ran toward Bay 7, Lisa saw something that made her heart stop. Through the observation windows, she could see Earth in the distance. Beautiful, and blue and peaceful. But she also saw something else. Dark shapes moving between Earth and the moon. Ships that didn't belong to any human fleet. The aliens weren't just on Luna Base. They weren't just on Earth. They were everywhere. Lisa, Alex, and Tony reached the shuttle bay as the first alien ships began landing on Luna Base. Through the thick windows, they could see dark vessels shaped like teardrops. They moved without sound, like shadows flowing across the surface. How many ships are there? Tony asked, checking his weapon. Alex was staring at his scanner. 12 around Luna Base. But Lisa, look at this reading. There are hundreds more around Earth. Lisa felt her heart sink. The invasion wasn't just beginning. It had been happening for months. The aliens had been positioning themselves while they replaced key humans in government and military positions. We need to reach the shuttle before they seal the bay, Lisa said, but as they ran across the metal floor, the bay doors began closing. Someone was controlling them remotely. The fake humans were trying to trap them. Tony shot the door controls with his weapon. Sparks flew, but the doors kept moving. There has to be a manual override, Alex said, running to a wall panel. Lisa looked back toward the entrance. The fake humans were coming. She could see Colonel Davis leading them, walking with that strange, too smooth movement. Behind him came Dr. Mary Johnson, Engineer Bob Taylor, and 20 others. They all moved exactly the same way, like parts of one big machine. Alex, hurry! Alex found the manual controls and yanked hard. The bay doors stopped closing, leaving just enough space for the shuttle to escape. They climbed into the small emergency vessel. Tony took the pilot's seat while Lisa worked on the communication system. Alex sealed the hatch just as the fake humans reached the shuttle. Lisa could see their faces through the window. They looked exactly like people she had worked with for years. But their eyes were empty. They stared at the shuttle without blinking, like predators watching prey. Starting engines, Tony said. Hold on. The shuttle lifted off as the alien ships settled on Luna Base. Lisa watched her home for 3 years disappear below them. Everyone she had left behind was either dead or replaced. Lisa, I'm getting signals from Earth, Alex said, monitoring the radio. Military frequencies. Lisa put on a headset and listened. What she heard made her feel sick. The voices on Earth sounded wrong. Generals and admirals giving orders in voices that were too calm. No emotion, no stress. They were coordinating the arrival of more alien ships like it was routine business. Tony, we can't go to any official landing areas. They'll be expecting us. Tony nodded. Where then? Lisa thought about people she knew on Earth. Her sister Jenny lived in a small town in Montana, far from any major cities or military bases. If the aliens were focusing on important targets first, Maybe Jenny was still safe. Montana, Billings area. My sister has a ranch there. As they flew toward Earth, Lisa tried to contact Jenny on personal frequencies. When her sister answered, Lisa felt relief. Lisa, what are you doing calling on emergency channels? Is everything okay? Jenny sounded normal. She sounded scared and confused by the emergency call. That was exactly how a real human would react. Jenny, this is going to sound crazy, but I need you to listen carefully. Are there any military people or government officials in town today? Government officials? Lisa, what's wrong? You're scaring me. Please, just answer the question. Well, yes. Some army people came through yesterday. They said they were conducting security exercises. But Lisa, why are you asking about this? Lisa felt cold fear. The aliens were already in small towns too. Jenny, I need you to get away from town, right? Now, take your family and go to the old cabin by the lake. Don't trust anyone in uniform. Lisa, you're not making any sense. What's happening? Before Lisa could answer, the signal cut out. Someone had jammed the communication. They found us, Alex said, looking at his instruments. Ships coming up from Earth, fast. Tony pushed the shuttle to maximum speed, but it wasn't built for combat. It was just an emergency transport. Can we fight them? Lisa asked. With what? Tony replied, this shuttle has no weapons. We're not going to win a space battle. Lisa looked at the approaching ships. 6 of them, moving in perfect formation. Just like the fake humans walked in perfect synchronization. Maybe we don't need to fight them, she said. Maybe we need to outsmart them. She started working on the communication system again. Alex, remember what you said about the aliens not handling stress well? What if we gave them something they couldn't handle? Like what? Lisa was typing fast, preparing a special transmission. Pure human chaos. Emotions and randomness that their logical minds can't process. She opened channels to every frequency she could access. Emergency channels, military frequencies, civilian radio, even entertainment networks. And she began broadcasting. This is Lisa Morgan to anyone who can hear me. If you're human, really human, then listen to your heart right now. Think about the person you love most. Think about your happiest memory. Think about what makes you cry. The alien ships were getting closer. But Lisa kept talking. The aliens can copy our bodies and our voices, but they can't copy love. They can't copy grief. They can't copy the feeling you get when you hear your favorite song or smell your mother's cooking. Alex was staring at his scanners. Lisa, something's happening to their ships. Their formation is breaking up. Lisa smiled and kept broadcasting. If someone you know seems wrong, test them. Ask them about pain. Ask them about embarrassment. Ask them what makes them laugh until they can't breathe. The alien ships were wobbling now, flying in uneven patterns. Lisa realized her broadcast was affecting the aliens inside them. They were trying to process human emotions they couldn't understand. Humans are messy and unpredictable and emotional. We make mistakes. We change our minds. We love people who hurt us and fight with people we care about. And that's what makes us human. One of the alien ships crashed into another. They spiraled toward Earth's atmosphere, burning up like falling stars. Tony was staring in amazement. How did you do that? I gave them too much human emotion to process at once. Their minds couldn't handle it. But Lisa knew the victory was temporary. There were hundreds more ships. And most humans wouldn't know to listen for her broadcast dot as they entered Earth's atmosphere. Lisa could see the scope of the invasion. Alien. Ships sat in major cities like dark clouds. But she could also see signs of fighting. Military bases firing at the invaders. Civilian areas where lights flickered as people fought back. Some people are still fighting, Alex said. Lisa nodded. Humans don't give up easily. That's another thing the aliens don't understand. They landed the shuttle in a forest, clearing 20 miles from Jenny's ranch. Lisa tried calling her sister again, but got no answer. "We go on foot from here," Tony said. "Stay together and trust no one else." As they walked through the forest, they heard sounds of battle in the distance. Explosions, gunfire, human voices shouting orders and warnings, but they also heard something else. Other voices that sounded almost human, but spoke in perfect unison. The aliens were coordinating their forces. "Lisa," Alex said quietly, "I've been thinking about your broadcast. What if we could amplify it? Reach more people? Every communication network on Earth, every radio station, every internet connection, every cell phone. Flood the aliens with so much human emotion that their systems overload." Lisa liked the idea, but she saw the problem. We'd need access to major transmission facilities. And those are probably all controlled by fake humans now. Tony pointed through the trees. "What about that?" In the distance, they could see a radio tower on a hilltop. It was an old emergency broadcast station, built to work even if main communication networks failed. "It's perfect," Lisa said. "Isolated, probably not important enough for the aliens to target first." They climbed the hill as the sun began setting. Behind them, Earth burned in dozens of places, cities under attack, ships fighting in the sky. The invasion was in full swing, but ahead of them was a chance to fight back in the only way that mattered. With the one thing that made humans special, their humanity itself, at the radio station. They found 2 technicians who had been trying to reach their families. After testing them carefully with personal questions, Lisa confirmed they were real humans. "We need to broadcast to every frequency at once," Lisa told them. "Can your equipment do that?" The older technician, a man named Carl, nodded. "Emergency. Protocols allow us to override all channels. What do you want to broadcast?" Lisa looked out the window at Earth under attack. Alien ships moved between the clouds like metal vultures. But in the distance, she could still see lights in windows. Human families hiding together, loving each other, being human. "The truth," she said. "Everything that makes us human. All the messy, beautiful, impossible things that aliens can never understand or copy." She sat down at the microphone and prepared to send her final transmission. Not just to warn people, but to remind them who they were, to remind them that being human was worth fighting for. Lisa sat at the microphone as explosions lit up the sky outside. The radio station shook with each blast, but the equipment kept working. Carl and his partner Mike had the transmission ready to broadcast on every frequency on Earth. "This is going to reach everyone," Carl said. "Every radio, every phone, every communication device on the planet." Lisa nodded. "Good. The aliens are listening too. That's what I'm counting on." Alex was monitoring alien ship movements on his scanner. There are over 300 ships now. They're landing in every major city. But Lisa, something strange is happening. "What?" "The ships aren't moving in formation anymore. Ever since your first broadcast, they're flying more randomly. I think you're right about emotions confusing them." Tony was watching through binoculars. "I can see fighting in the valley. Real humans versus fake ones. The real humans are winning because they're fighting unpredictably." Lisa took a deep breath. This was her one chance to reach every person on Earth. Every real human needed to hear this. And every fake human needed to be exposed. She pressed the transmission button. "This is Lisa Morgan, broadcasting from Emergency Station Alpha 7. If you're hearing this, you're about to learn the truth about what's happening to our world." On Alex's scanner, alien ships immediately began changing course toward their location. The aliens knew where the broadcast was coming from. Hostile alien forces have been replacing human beings for months. They can copy our bodies perfectly, but they cannot copy our souls. They can steal our faces, but they cannot steal what makes us human. Lisa could hear aircraft approaching. They had maybe 10 minutes before the aliens arrived. If someone you know has been acting strange, test them. Ask them about their childhood fears. Ask them what song makes them cry. Ask them about the worst day of their life. She paused, thinking about her brother Ryan. The real Ryan would talk for hours about the time he crashed his first car. The fake Ryan had given simple, perfect answers. Real humans are complicated. We contradict ourselves. We love people we shouldn't love. We're afraid of stupid things and brave about important things. We make mistakes and we feel guilty about them. Through the window, Lisa could see alien ships landing around the radio station. Dark figures were moving through the forest, coming up the hill. The aliens study us like we're machines they can take apart and rebuild. But humans aren't. Machines. We're chaos and love and pain and joy all mixed together. Tony had his weapon ready. They're at the base of the hill. Lisa kept talking. I want every real human listening to remember something right now. Remember the last time someone made you laugh so hard you couldn't breathe. Remember how it felt to hold someone you love. Remember being so scared you thought your heart would stop and doing something brave anyway. Alex was staring at his scanner in amazement. Lisa, look at this. The alien ships are falling out of the sky. Outside, they could see it happening. Alien vessels wobbling through the air like drunk birds. Some crashed into buildings. Others simply stopped flying and fell. What's happening to them? Mike asked. Lisa smiled as she continued broadcasting. I'm giving them too much human emotion to process. Their minds are designed for logic and order, but human feelings don't follow logic. She could see the alien figures climbing the hill. They moved in perfect synchronization, like soldiers marching. But some of them were stumbling now, their movements becoming jerky and uncontrolled. Every person listening to this broadcast is feeling something right now. Fear, hope, love, anger. You might be crying. You might be laughing. You might be remembering someone who died or someone who saved your life. The alien figures were closer now. Lisa could see their faces in the moonlight. They looked perfectly human, but their expressions were blank. They couldn't process the emotional storm she was creating. All of those feelings are pouring through the communication networks right now. Every real human on Earth is thinking about what makes them human, and the aliens can't handle it. Tony opened fire as the first alien figures reached the station. But when his bullets hit them, they fell wrong. Too stiff, like mannequins instead of people. This is my final transmission, Lisa said. Not because I'm giving up, but because I don't need to say anything more. You know who you are. You know what makes you human. More alien figures were pouring into the building, but they were moving slowly now, like they were confused. Some of them had stopped moving entirely. Fight back with everything that makes you human. Love each other, help each other. Be brave and stupid and wonderful and impossible. Lisa could hear the aliens in the hallway outside, but she could also hear something else on the radio. Voices from all over Earth, real humans responding to her broadcast. A woman in New York crying as she talked about her daughter. A man in Tokyo laughing as he remembered his wedding day. Children in London singing a song their grandmother taught them. All over the planet, humans were sharing their memories, their feelings, their humanity. The communication networks were flooding with pure human emotion, and the aliens couldn't handle it. Alex was monitoring global communications. Lisa, it's working. Alien ships are crashing everywhere. The fake humans are shutting down. Their systems are overloading. The door to the radio room burst open. Colonel Davis stood there, but his face was twitching. His perfect features were shifting and changing as the alien inside struggled to maintain its human form. "Stop the transmission," he said. But his voice was distorted now, like a broken recording. "No," Lisa said simply. Davis lunged toward the microphone, but Tony shot him. The fake colonel fell, and when he hit the ground, his human appearance dissolved. Underneath was something gray and shapeless, like living clay. "That's what they really look like," Alex said. "They're parasites. They can reshape themselves to mimic other forms, but strong emotions disrupt their control." Lisa was still broadcasting. "The aliens are dying. Not because we're stronger or smarter, but because we're human. Because we feel things they can never understand." Through the broken door, they could see more fake humans in the hallway. But they weren't moving anymore. They stood like broken robots, their faces blank and emptied out outside. The alien ships had stopped firing. Many had crashed. Others hung motionless. In the air, all over Earth, "The invasion is failing," Lisa said. "Because you can copy a human body, but you can't copy a human heart." She looked out at the burning cities in the distance. There would be much work to do, cities to rebuild, people to mourn. The real humans who had been replaced were gone forever, but humanity had survived. Not with weapons or technology, but with the one thing that made them special, their ability to feel. Lisa turned back to the microphone for her final words. "This is Lisa Morgan, signing off. To every human listening, remember this day. Remember that what makes us human isn't our bodies or our intelligence. It's our capacity to love, to grieve, to hope, to dream." She paused, watching the sunrise begin to light up the sky. "The aliens thought they could replace us by copying our forms. But they learned something important today. Humans aren't just biological machines. We're something more, something that can't be copied or stolen or destroyed." Lisa turned off the microphone and sat back in her chair. Through the window, she could see alien ships falling from the sky like metal rain. In the distance, human voices were calling to each other, survivors finding survivors. People helping people. Alex put his hand on her shoulder. "You did it." "You?" "Saved everyone." Lisa shook her head. "I didn't save anyone. I just reminded them who they were." Tony was checking the bodies of the fake humans. They were dissolving now, turning back into gray, shapeless matter. "What happens next?" he asked. Lisa looked out at Earth. The planet was wounded, but not broken. Humans were already working together, helping each other, rebuilding. "Now we heal," she said. "We remember everyone we lost. We help each other rebuild. And we make sure this never happens again." She picked up her personal recording device and made one final entry. Final log entry. "The alien invasion has been defeated. Not through violence, but through humanity itself. We learned that our greatest weakness is also our greatest strength. We feel too much, love too deeply, hope too desperately." Lisa paused, watching people emerge from hiding places in the valley below. Families reuniting, neighbors helping neighbors. The aliens thought emotions made us weak. They were wrong. Emotions make us human. And being human is the most powerful thing in the universe. She turned off the recorder and walked outside. The sun was rising over Earth. A new day was beginning, and humanity would face it together, just as they always had. Human, messy, beautiful, and impossible to replace.